of your sections included. So I just thought that I would, you know, kind of do a little special thing just to say a little bit of a thank you, and just to make your nights a little bit more worth it. So I'd just like to do like a little bit of a roll call for all of you. So obviously we have the main line here, and the mainline kind of main leader is Mr. Sue, Lieutenant Ratdog, who does an excellent job in leading the lines, and he's always a very I don't know, aggressive leader, but that's what we like to see in the 3. I know that there's always sometimes complaints about that, but you know, the main line is the bulk of the 3. It's the infantry that carries us forward, and yeah, just press B for the main line. Yeah. And next up, we have the guards. Now, the guards are one of the most prestigious sections in the 3E. They are kind of the more elite, kind of more experienced line infantry, I guess you could say. One of the first sections to be created, I believe, under Jackson. And they certainly have one of the longest reigning histories, and they've had very good leaders, such as Creepy and Ratdog, and Ballasong and Cloudy, so as well as Dartflame, who have done an excellent job at leading all of them. So give a B for the yard. Alright, next up we have another very old section, and personally one of my favorites for its speed and its accuracy. We have the Ligier.
Yeah.
Now, okay, Cloudy's just gonna say good. Alright, okay. Alright, very good. That's all good. Now the Ligier are kind of the very fast moving, very quick to get into positions, and they're always providing covering fire for the infantry. Every time I ask Danks, oh, can you cover this flank, he's always there. He's always taking rocks and taking positions and taking out any infantry that tries to maneuver on us. They are very integral to the battlefield, and I love seeing them around. And Danks and Scare West have both been excellent leaders of them. And it's great to see people like Let Me Solo, Zigzag, and Biking on tonight. So press a big B for the Ligier. Alright, next up we have the artillery. Certainly one of the funniest sections in the 3E. The artillery have had as well a long history, with leaders such as Thunder, Drop Bear, and countless more that honestly I can't even recall. Artillery are, you know, the guys with the big guns. They're always going to be there to rain down fire against any CG ranks that try and advance onto us. And you know, they've really been adapting recently to some of the new stuff coming out in Holdfast. So you know, with like stuff like the howitzers and the mortars and all that, and they've been doing an excellent job under the leadership of both Sharp and Xander. So I'd just like to give a really big shout out to them, and press B for the artillery. Alright, and last but not least, we have the cavalry, the section that I was in before I became Dissier Major, and of course I have a little bit of a soft spot for it. Starting under, I think way back, started under Plot, but then it got disbanded and restarted under Dartflame. It was certainly an excellent section to be a part of. All the banter in there with people like Cheppy and Pickle. And you know, it was just a glorious section to be in, and I'm sure it is still a glorious section to be in, with the huge cavalry charges that you can almost see every single night, as long as they're not getting wiped out by Brio or by 69. But you know, cavalry, especially under the leadership of Tanky, he's been doing an excellent job leading you guys recently, and I think it's safe to say that you guys are definitely the best riders in OC. IFF have nothing on you. So press B for the cavalry. Alright, that's about it. I just wanted to do this quick little thing to show my appreciation for all the sections, as I said once again. If any section officers want to speak up, I'll just give them a second to speak up now and just advertise the section, if anyone has anything to say. But if not, we'll be moving on. So, a minute. Oh! I've been reminded. I've forgotten the support staff. Actually, well, the support staff is kind of a midway between the enlisted and the these sections. Actually, recently been under big development under Tyrone and myself's leadership. We have had many new additions, such as the drum skin, which looks excellent, if I do say so myself, developed by Mr. Apex. The support staff are always there to have your back. They're always there to increase your morale, and I love hearing those drum beats and seeing Jungle's flag and being healed by the likes of Spyro and Mr. Rock Lobster. So press B for another big support. Again, any of you enlisted guys, if you're not already in a section and you want to join the prestigious history of any of these sections, it really does help to, you know, bolster your experience in the 3E. And yeah, I can only give the highest acclaim to all of you. Anyway, with that, I'll get everyone to move over, spawn in as the 3E line infantry, so just getting out of your section roles, and we'll be forming up in the church.
We did it, guys. We did it. I'm so proud of it.
Alright, we'll first have up Mr. Asian Sharp, hailing from the artillery, and one of 3E's finest corporals. Press B for Mr. Sharp.
Vive la France! Vive la France! Vive la France! Monsieur, vive la France! Monsieur.
First off, I will go over here. Let me get Sanders' piece out since he is a little bit having a stage fright, but that's fine. Right, here we go. This is from Sander and me, but let's start with Sander first. After all these years of playing Hold Fast, I've gotta say, Tarragon, you're easily a top 3 regimental CO I've ever served under. We had some great chats back before I rejoined 3E, and even though things have been the same since you got promoted to Major, those talks still mean a lot to me. Wishing you all the best in your future endeavors, Tarragon. Speaking of which, with your busy schedule these days, I figured I'd throw this out there. If you ever get a chance to unwind and want to relive some glory days, the cannons on the firing range are always itching for someone to shoot them. Much love and memes, Sander. Now, for me.
Press B.
Yeah, press B.
Another artillery.
Now, for my speech. First off, Tarragon. Wow, imagine deciding to retire before I can even have my 1-year anniversary. Imagine that. But no, seriously, Tarragon, thanks for being our major for when I just only joined 2023. I still got a lot of much things to learn, but with now Shady being our new major, I'm sure I can learn a lot more, even as an officer now. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for me. Loyalty is rare. Find it, keep it.
I know, right?
I will now invite Kruber. Corporal Commissar Kruber, that is.
Vive l'empereur! Vive l'empereur!
Vive l'empereur!
Vive l'empereur!
Vive la France!
Hello.
General!
So I'm probably not gonna be here for that much, or this may make much sense. Even though I haven't really been here that long, well, that long this year. I've been here for ages, but I've been missing many of the events. The ones I do show up to have been very good. Well.
What
Sorry.
the heck? Are you
You died.
Not Snoke over here, bro.
the leper king of Jerusalem?
Are you
That is high as fuck.
Are you alright, mate?
This has been, even though I haven't turned up too many events this year, it's been very good, and I hope it will continue to be sorry, be good as with Shady, or whoever. I think it's Shady that's replacing Paragon. Yeah, yeah. I mean, go now.
Okay. Thank you, the always clueless cavalry leader, Mr. Commissar Kruber. Oh, look at that. Rhyming with all the C's. Alright. Okay, next up, we'll pass it up to Mr. Balisong Blue.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Actually, let me turn on voice activity just a sec. I've known Shady for 2 years now, since we were both brigadiers, and I've seen him go through thick and thin in the regiment and stick by it. I remember when he was still playing this game, when the best we got was 14 men a night, and he was holding down the fort with Dark Flame when no one else was. And hell, at the time, I'd lost my passion for the game and our community. But Shady never did, and he showed real commitment. The countless hours he spent recruiting, countless hours he spent in meetings, and the time he spent with all of us here in 3E. So for that I'd like to thank you, Shady, and I wish you the best of luck leading our great regiment.
Vive l'Empereur!
Vive
l'Empereur!
Vive l'Empereur! I do remember those days. Back being brigadiers, that was some
Vive
fun times.
l'Empereur!
I do remember Corporal only night. That was a good time as well. Alright. Next, we'll have the secondary guard leader, Mr. Cloudy Brick. I think he's having some game issues, but he should still be able to use it.
That's right. I'm here in Discord.
Gay issue.
Alrighty. I didn't really want to make a speech because I didn't want to sound like a certain soon-to-be ex-major. But I just wanted to say a big thank you to Tarragon for probably giving me a bit of a revival in my interest of the game. After leaving CG and joining 3E and finding a new regiment and a new place to call my gaming home, I've really enjoyed the days that I've played, Overwatch with Tarragon and Overwatch with Shady. Well, not Overwatch with Shady, but other games with Shady, and I'm just really excited to see where things go, and I wish Tarragon all the best. That's pretty much it.
Press B for Cloudy, even though he's not in game.
Yeah, hopefully I can fix my piece.
Next up, we will have the scum leader, Mr. Soup Dang.
Yo. Yeah, so it's been an incredible year under Tarragon's reign. I have to admit, I was a bit apprehensive about him taking the lead, but he has absolutely proven me wrong. Over the past year, he's constantly looked for ways to inject energy into our regiment and into this game. The rank and medal restructure provided clear long-term goals for everyone. He's always improving and bringing new things to the table, be it propaganda, fanfare for the 3E anniversary, new skins, or even facilitating a fantastic Christmas album. But the absolute highlight has to be the war declared on the IFF. Even though the result didn't go away, the build-up and the hype were spectacular. It felt like a grand final of Old Fast. The Adjutant Council was a brilliant initiative, bringing back 3 greats like Rat Dog, Jackson, and Plot, even if only some, just for a little while. Although Koala splintered off, having the GI around has kept the game populated and exciting. And on that note, another highlight of the past year has been the hard work of Shady and Sharp in getting recruits and keeping our numbers up. We've even occasionally been the regiment with the highest attendance, which has been fantastic. And of course, the Leger has been exceptional over the past year. The return of Douglas Mawson, even though he isn't around that often nowadays, but having him and Tim lead has been excellent. They're doing really well. With a bunch of new recruits, we've been able to run skirms more often. The biggest highlight being at the start of this year, we had like a whole month of running skirms at each event, and we were just crushing it, constantly punching above our weight. Yeah, I've got a bunch of highlights on my channel from around that time because we're just having these incredible rounds. So yeah, as we step into a new chapter, I just want to thank and congratulate Tarragon for all his hard work over the past year. His dedication to this group has been second to none, and it's truly transformed this regiment for the better. So thank you.
Vive
Alright, on behalf of Tara and myself, thank you, Dan. Press B for the best.
Love you, Dex.
Yeah, Riley, you
We
can
love you, Uncle Dex.
stand still for a second there, mate. Just getting your arms in, mate. Alright, and next up we have actually a special speech, who has just messaged me. I'd like to invite up Mr. Brigadier Commissar Viking, who is very passionate to give a speech.
Yeah, that's very passionate. Alrighty. In the short time I've been in 3E, I'd like to say that it was a near life-altering decision, with countless nights spent laughing and dying in multiple different fashions, not only in Holdfast, but also in other games, such as CS with people like Cloudy, who is still amazing at the game, by the way, definitely not sarcasm. The lads and lasses I've met have been really brought out the extrovert in me, as some of you know, I'm quite loud at times, and being welcomed into the regiment firsthand by Shady has really made me feel home at 3E, and a home in which I plan to stay. I'd like to say one more time, thank you, Shady, and I will not take up your guys' time any longer.
Thank you, Shady.
Well, thank you. Oh, whoops, didn't mean to wave there.
Can I do a speech?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Viking.
I'm not American, Oda, thank you.
It has been excellent having you around, and I think that you really bring a lot of passion to this game. So, yeah. Alright, next up, I will invite up our Sioux Lieutenant, Mr.
I'm not a Kiwi,
Ratbog.
that's exact.
Hi everyone, I'd just like to start out by saying, wow, we've got 39 people listening here. Looks like there's only 28 in game, but nonetheless, I'm thrilled to see you all here, including a lot of former members, so that's really nice to see, and even some mercs, that's really good. Yeah, to witness the official promotion of the 3E's 8th Major, Shady. So before I speak on what I would like to see from our 8th Major, let me briefly reflect on the impact of the 7th Major, Tarragon. Whether you're in the 3E or not, you know that Tarragon has made many controversial decisions on behalf of the regiment. He is without a doubt the most daring leader the 3E has ever had. He dared to declare war on Oceania's largest regiment, the Imperial Frontier Force. We fought an uphill numbers game and brought over 80 people to a grand event. He challenged the Livgvardi Preobrazhensky Polk, also known as Prio, to a group fight, a move many regiments wouldn't dare to make. However, the 7th Major made these calls to test our strength, and with good reason. He always stood ready, prepared to try new ways of doing things in the line battles. He worked tirelessly to better our regiment on other fronts. He strengthened our community engagement, such as by encouraging members directly to join tournaments on the OC Melee Hub and to participate in various activities such as the creation of the 2023 Christmas album. Make no mistake, our members are now more engaged outside of event times than ever. A major can force a lot of different things to happen in their regiment, but they cannot control how much people enjoy being in it. This is a great state of affairs to be in, and it is an extraordinary achievement for Tarragon. I could go on, but let me now turn attention to Shady, and leave him with 3 things I would like him to focus on during his turn as Major. Firstly, never neglect recruitment and external recognition. Let us reach 1,000 members on Discord. I believe we achieved 800 today, so we are only just shy of 1,000. Secondly, commit to mastering and remastering the game. AGS has foreshadowed changes to the game coming out soon, one of which is a new official training map, which is in their words, advanced. So there are many new mechanics coming to the game. Finally, and most importantly, do not make changes for change's sake. Remember, you will not be able to please everyone. When you do make a change, always put yourselves in the shoes of the enlisted, your officer corps, and others in the community, and think about their experience and perception of the regiment. Thank you, and congratulations to our 8th Major, Shady.
Thank you, Ratbot, ex-captain and current Sioux Lieutenant, one of the best line leaders that we have, and an excellent speaker at that. Alright, next up, we'll be inviting up Mr. Lieutenant Tanky Gamer, leader of the cavalry.
Thank you, Mr. Shady. Now, under the 5 majors that I've served under, by far Tarragon is the most radical, and that being, he is the one that brought the most change to this regiment. This being, if you have not been aware, he introduced new ranks, new medals. The Adjutant Council, which was a great success until Koala left and ultimately created the GI. That was inevitable. Other than that, he did challenge OCE's biggest regiment, which is the IFF. Just summing up what Rat Dog has said, also challenged the best meleeers in OCE, that being Preobranensky. Although we were not matched in skill-based, we did try and ultimately failed. However, let that not be downside of that event. Think of it as a learning opportunity and also a fun experience. Other than that, Tarragon, you have been good major so far. Although some of your decisions I did question, it's ultimately most have prevailed in the end. Shady, now becoming the 8th major and my 6th major being served under. I wish you good luck and hopefully you bring enough success as Tarragon has with the bolstering numbers of at least 30 a night and even training. We have seen an increase in enlisted in coming back and enjoying the events. This is pretty much what COVID happened. We had almost 30 a night, and excluding the anniversary, which we had 50. Other than that, I wish you luck, Shady, in your new adventures. That is all.
Alright, press B for Mr. Tanky. One of the best cab leaders that we've had. Thank you, Tanky. Alright, before we move on to any more special speeches, I am not the only one who is receiving a promotion tonight. We will be having a variety of very special and very well-deserved officer promotions. So, without further ado, I do ask the officer corps and corporals to please come up and create a little bit of a circle, like we do for every promotion that we have.
Not bad.
Monsieur?
Promotion. Who's this? Kruber and Sharp, come down. Yeah, come down. Alrighty. Now, I'd like to say the first officer who, well, actually, the newest addition to the officer corps. He has served for only under a year, but he has been one of the, I don't even know what the word is, just one of the most driven people that I've seen in this regiment for a long time. He's one of my close friends, and he is an excellent recruiter. He's an excellent fake HR support. Hailing from the Philippines, I know you already know who I'm talking about. Mr. Asian Sharp, can you come down to the stage?
Hey, anyone want to join free?
You will be promoted to the rank of
Anyone want to join free?
Congrats, Asian Sharp.
Ow! Oh, I didn't think of that.
Thank you.
First artillery officer in just over a year and a half. Press the big B for him, boys. He's been doing so much work in the past 10 years. We should all be very proud of him.
Thank you.
Next up.
Yeah, the officer uniform.
Love you, Sharp.
Oh, now I have to get on my uniform now.
Yes.
Alright. Next up, I would like to give my big appreciation to Mr. Cloudy Brick. Cloudy, you've been an excellent leader of the guard. You have shown a great mentality both under Dartflame, advancing through the enlisted ranks, and also under myself and Tarragon, being an excellent corporal and an even better officer. I see the passion that you have for the guard. I see all the work that you're putting into it. I love all the long ass messages that you write whenever a new guard member joins. It is always very good to see, and I haven't seen that type of passion since the likes of Creepy and Rat Dog. So, Mr. Cloudy Vic will be receiving the honorable promotion to the rank of Sue Officer. Punch his invisible body. Oh, whoops.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'll stab it.
Alrighty.
Monsieur?
Well, what can I say about this man? He has been one of my favorite officers to serve with. He's certainly one of the funniest. He's one of my close friends, and I always regard him very highly for his melee skill, for his leading, for his great job in skirms, and the overall passion and attendance that he shows. And as well as his speaking ability, as he has just shown, he's an excellent speaker as well. Can I have Sue Officer Danks to come up to the stage?
My PC's working, let's go.
Danks, you will be receiving the rank of Sue Lieutenant.
Long live Danks.
Very well. Alright. And I'll ask all officers and corporals to return to their positions. Give a big shout out to all these lads. Feel free to give them messages. They're all very well deserved. They deserve all the love and they deserve all the support. And I hope to see all of you keep excelling in your jobs, leading your sections, and just doing an excellent job of helping me lead the 3E. Now, I'm not sure if he's on the server right now, but if he's not, we might have to wait for him. I'm not sure if he's here. But I'd like to hand it over to my major, the ex-major, and soon to be Chief de Battalion, Mr. Tarragon.
Hello folks. Give me a chair through the streaming screen. Sorry I can't join you in game right now. My PC like Cloudy Bricks. It's kind of fucking up right now. Right, well, you all know how this goes. It'll be a little different this time. But Tarragon will indeed start speaking. First of all, I think it goes without saying how grateful I am. And, the time that all the other officers have put in has been just absolutely monumental for the Ridge. Thank you all for mentioning me. And, it's been an absolute pleasure. Many of those things are product of dual leadership rather than just my own. Right. I'm not going to talk about the year we've had. Shady is a villain. There's no singular individual in the regiment that has ever given me so much more frustration. Gimli was his profile picture. I can recall the young days of one Shady Lucas, as he was known. A soldat, eager to... even then eager for a promotion. He told me that he would race home from the AFL and asked that he'd still be eligible if he only attended half the event. That was my first experience with him. As a caporal at the time, on the search for promising new figures in the 3E, I'd put a pin in that particular interaction. He began to climb steadily up the ladder to Gren P, a rank that was, at that time, yet to be confused with gross domestic product. The BDR, the BDR path into leaderships he soon embarked on shortly after. And he was our second after Belly. Caught a few of the eyes of the leadership with that move. I begin to know Shady more and more through BDR Pal and my personal star recruit Balasong, as well as a lovable miscreant known as Fuddy, later Ferris. A mainstay of the Cav under the command of Darkflame as well as Tanky, who would then induct him into a shadowy organisation known by a few names, one of which Fellowship. Shortly after all that, I'd leave to Thailand, do my officer meetings remote, travelling from canton to canton, and then step down briskly from CPF to Caporal. While I was away,
Monsieur?
somebody was hard at work. Shady would rise to officer. And I think Shady remembers exactly what I told him that night when he became an officer. I sent him a few messages, and at the end of said messages, I'd tell him that he didn't deserve it and that he'd had to prove himself to me and he had a lot of work to do. He was very gracious about this. We had a huge ranging conversation, first through messages and then later through VCs, for about 5 hours that night, as I regaled him of the many tales and things. Eager, clasping his pearls at some sections, and I had him on the end of my string that night, and I'd never known how much of a deep character that Shady could be. I really got to know him that night, and after that night, one word him and I would never forget: change. After I returned, me, Bally, and Shady would endeavour on a absolutely heroic effort to get the logbook back up to scratch after 6 months of nobody doing it. There were a few people who were supposed to do it. I was definitely supposed to do it. I didn't do it. And it was just hours and hours of logbooking. There's a chat called the Logbook Boys where you can find a few little tidbits of when people stepped down or retired. A bunch of things that we didn't have before Rat Dog made that cool little bot, which have a few little bits and pieces there. After that long, I think it was like 12 hours or something. What was it? Nah, it was like 6. For like 6 hours.
Bro, it was actually like 10 hours, I reckon.
Oh, okay, yeah, it was fucking long. Because I remember waking up in the afternoon and said, hey, should we fucking do this? And then we did it, and we kept doing it. And then it was like nighttime. Yeah. The night of the logbook, that was absolutely royal. Shady's been amazing at doing the logbook. So many little things he does behind the scenes. After that, I would move to Melbourne, where we filmed a propaganda video. I was in this little, the shittiest little room, in Melbourne with, the old regulars, I think, Asian Kevin or whatever his name was.
Oh my god.
And his girlfriend. And we'd film a propaganda video, and it was so much that we couldn't put it on anything. We wanted the quality to be as good as possible. So on my final day in Melbourne, because I would then move back to Sydney for a gardening gig, Shady came to my flat, and he would he passed the USB into my letterbox. That was definitely like a real oh, he's a fucking G. He's a real, he's a keeper, that's for sure. And we talked about what we're gonna do in the future, and and the troubles we had in the ridge. Next thing that happened in old Shady's resume, I thought it was a ridiculous idea for Shady to run for major, but he did, and he got quite a bit of support off of it. It was really impressive to see how many people he rallied. In the end, it worked as a bit of a party system. He wanted my votes, I wanted his. We eventually came together after the coalition of Tanky and Scare West. And we would form our own party. I don't know what you'd call it. I bullied him out of the first major position, but we'd have equal power as major and deuxième major. Of course, me still as the figurehead. Just reminiscing, man. Just so many things. We'd get to work straight away. I mean, like, I'd never seen such a drive before, and I knew Shady was untested. But as soon as we got into the power, we got the nod. It was 10th of, so it was tomorrow technically, but it was a Sunday that we got elected, and it was a dream come true for the both of us, and we got to work straight away. It was some of the best time in Holdfast I've ever had, like, ever. There's of course a little like that glassy-eyed nostalgia for the Jackson era and things like that, and that is yet to be topped, but this was like pure excitement every day. We were never very far away from each other's DMs. Of course it was all work related. We were still friends, but it was very much like a professional relationship. And we'd have days and days where we'd have like 10-hour long conversations, like all day. We'd talk all day, every day, about what we wanted to implement, the ranking system, the Les Ensuite, the grid leveling system, how we wanted to put that into play. Just fucking forever talking.
So many arguments.
So many. You wouldn't believe. Shady, as I said, is the most frustrating person I've ever had to deal with in the 3E. And it's because he's the most frustrating person that I've met in the Reg that I cannot give a more glowing a more like a more praising how do you say, like, nod to him. I think the work that he's done and the way that he's made me absolutely like bald sometimes is just a testament to his will. And he was always there to challenge me, and sometimes it would be a real tough way to operate. And we did have some nice times with plot and getting the adjutants in and all of that. There were some rough times there, especially during the war. That was both extremely hype and also semi-soul crushing for me completely. But yeah, he's always challenged me. He's always been the yin to my yang, I guess, the yin to my yang, the yang to my yin.
Either works.
And when it came to the point where we'd spent a year as co-majors, I knew that if anyone was going to take the regiment into the next stride, into the next steps, it would be him. And I realised this, that I had a really great friend and promising leader like we haven't had before, who has the ability to be our best, who hopefully learnt a few things from me. and just somebody messaged me. He's the ping to my pong. I know that doesn't make any sense to you guys, but like the opposite call, no. Right. Yeah, but maybe he didn't know this, but I always planned to hand it off to him. I think that was the only reason that he was in absolutely everything that we did, every meeting, every little bit. I really believed in the guy, but we did have a bit of a rough patch, and we had like a good talk one of those nights, and to be honest, it's 3E has been something that's so near and dear to my heart. It's been so integral to the past 3 years of my life. Not only as a social kind of place and gathering that is really much more prominent than it should be within where I choose to spend my time and my energy. But it being around for so long, I did get a little bit jaded and things, and I did get upset at where we were as majors. With my Régiment, Shady, I felt like that I had let him down for a good while there. And it only seemed to mount as for a period. We didn't talk too much in terms of personally. And I thought that I'd maybe, disappointed him a bit, We disappointed you boys in red, and I thought that having a night like tonight is nothing more. It doesn't. Not a night like tonight is no more representative than my whole time within the 3E, and trying to push us forward, trying to take the next step, challenging myself, and I realized, and I called Shady and I said, "Hey man, it's yours. It's your time. It's my turn to make one final decision for the 3E, and that's to set it up for the future. And one more chance to make, a long time companion and comrade of mine proud." So, I told you you'd have to humble me, and you have. I realized that I would have followed you, my brother, my captain, my king, your luminary, your lionheart, and now your major.
Vive la France!
Vive la
France!
Very kind words. I wouldn't be in the position I am now if it wasn't for you. Before I start speaking any big words, I'd like to just give a big thank you to obviously Tarragon firstly, who's been an integral part of this regiment, and You know, despite all the fights that we've had and all the disagreements and all the bickering, together we are definitely strong, and I will be happy to see you leading as the second in command. And I do thank you for all the work that you've put in, both with propaganda and leadership and making a lot of those tough decisions. I'm forever grateful for that. Some other big thank yous I'd like to give out is, of course, to ex-Major Mr. Dartflame, who kind of saw that passion that was within me to lead this beautiful regiment, and gave me that opportunity and promoted me to Corporal Warrior, and you know, let me join the cavalry and all the rest of it. I am also eternally thankful to him. But I'm also thankful to all of you, firstly for coming today, because we have 41 people in the voice chat, which is just ridiculous. I really do thank you all for coming. It means a lot to me. And you know, all of you enlisted, I love talking to you. It's honestly the highlight of my day. You know, I'm like, alright, 4 o'clock, we get into the VC and we just chat some shit with Ferris, Inflated Steak, fucking Lexi, and you know, it's the best part of my day. Coming home from a long day of work or a long day at uni or all the rest of it, it's just it's magnificent to be a part of you guys, and yeah, I'm so excited to lead you. Anyway, I will move on to my official speech. Soldiers of the 3E, representatives from our fellow OC regiments, I address you now as Major of the 3E Regiment d'Infanterie Suisse. The history of this regiment is profound. Many lifelong friendships have been formed here. Many lives have been touched here. No matter where you are in life, the 3E is homely and supportive to always come back to. I'm sure 3E has been formative to all of your lives. I know it has been for me. Making friends within the OCE community, hopping on to an always thriving campfire in tunes, and taking some shit with whoever happens to be online. These are the things that I value most within this regiment, and have admittedly made me miss quite a few real-life social events. Despite challenges in the field at the beginning of the year, the officer corps and the corporals have worked hard to innovate and overcome whatever challenges we face. The return of many familiar faces into the regiment has been amazing to see. Despite the thinning out of pub servers, there have still been many new people to join our ranks and fight faithfully as 3E members. Propaganda from these past few months has been also a highlight, such as the Christmas album, beautiful screenshots showing 3E in all types of events, clutch videos and compilations of the regiment throughout the years. If I was to look back over the past year, we have grown and changed so much that if I was told where we are right now, I might have fallen out of this very chair. The strength this regiment shows, in times both good and bad, is something unmatched, and something you should all be proud of. We've matured into a large, non-shitstone group who have a great community spirit and will never back down from a fight. It's been these key principles that have kept this amazing regiment alive for over 6 years and has made it a staple of the OCE community. To conclude, I will not promise any grand victories or huge innovations. I will say that many things are in the work to further this beautiful community. I hope that my leadership over this past year has proven to you all that my actions speak much louder than any words I can utter. So, I will proudly carry this regiment's banner into the future for countless more years. 3E supremacy, 3E unity, press B my friends, vive la Suisse. Thank you all, much love, you are dismissed!
Vive la Shady!